Hi everyone, I'm Zach. I'm the communications coordinator for Bryant Public Schools and also the host of the Hornet Half Hour. I'm here sitting with Lauren Lisowe. She is, are you the board president with the?
Yes,
board? Chairman of Bright Futures here at Bryant Public Schools. And before we go off to the races, I start the podcast by asking one question.
Okay.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Oh, Honey Nut Cheerios and almond milk and a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh, the DDP.
Yes.
As I like to call it. That is the peak of diet sodas.
It is.
In my
It
opinion.
is. Yes, it is.
I had a breakfast burrito.
From home?
It's like a Costco bulk that I buy.
Yum.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
The athletic director sometimes is in the break room and he calls me Burrito Boy now.
Hey, I'm a big
burrito.
fan of burritos.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about Bright Futures.
Yes.
For anyone who has no idea, can you tell me what that is?
Sure. So Bright Futures is a collaboration between the school district and the community. So it is a way for the school district to enlist more help from the community. And so the primary focus is to meet all emergent student needs within 24 hours, but then we also have a secondary focus of providing additional opportunities for students in the district through help with the community.
Okay, so could you give me an example of what one of those opportunities could be for the students?
Yeah, so one of the really cool things that we have done with our board is we actually have a student committee that is led by a Bryant senior. And so it is, I think some seventh graders will join the second half of their seventh grade year, but it's mostly 8th through 12th graders. They are appointed by their counselors, and so they come in and they talk about things that they think need to be improved in their schools that maybe the community could help with. We've had some really fantastic ideas, both from teachers and from students, but and one of the things that we really wanted to do when picking the student representatives was not just pick those, all A students who are standout athletes or things like that. We wanted to pick maybe some less traditional leaders, those quiet voices that are not always heard. So we have a really good mix of students, but we have some exciting things that we're hoping to come to fruition for those student leaders as well as just being on the committee.
Okay. Are there any projects right now that you can talk about? I heard about a Halloween costume thing.
Yes, so right now through September 30th, we are doing, we're collecting Halloween costumes at elementary schools. We know while a lot of us may think of that as a given, it's not a necessity, and so not all of our students have those. We do have some fantastic resources in the community. Our library actually has free costumes that you can go and rent and check out for the month. I used to do that because my kids loved playing dress up, but a lot of people don't know that those are available, but those run out really quickly. So we wanted to go ahead and take in costumes and then allow our elementary schools to pass those out. And then next month, we're actually doing a Hoodies for Homecoming event. So starting at our homecoming event, for Bryant High School, we will have collection bins at every home football game, and so we are going to ask people to bring new hoodies to come in and donate that again will be passed out through all of our schools at Bryant Public Schools.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Was that something that the students came to you with, or is that something you guys came up with?
I think that the board actually came up with that one. One of the really cool student ideas that we're going to do in early next year, we want to pair it in February with Black History Month, but was that there is a constant need for ethnic hair products at the high school. So they have what they call the nest there, and the nest is usually very well stocked with all different things that students in need can go and get, but one of the things that they often lack are some of those ethnic hair products. And so we partnered with our student lead, Kennedy Hinton, and Kennedy was able to explain to us some of the different products that they need and why they were needed and things like that. And so we have some really cool graphics with photos and everything that starting in February, we're gonna start collecting those to donate to the Nest and then to the junior high as well.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to go broad now.
Okay.
So Bryant is one of only about 42 districts in Arkansas to be part of Bright Futures. Why is it important for our district?
So, one of the things that we know and love about Bryant schools and about the city of Bryant is that there are a ton of community resources out there. I talked a little bit about going to the library and getting costumes. We have the Rotary Kids Closet where you can go and get clothes. But what we're trying to do is close the knowledge gap so that everybody knows and understands, like, if I need this, I can go here to get it. And so one of the things that our committee is doing is actually creating a resource list that will go onto the website. And so it will be designated by different categories. And so if you need some help finding food, either hot food or food pantries and things, you can go and click into those resource links. And so it's really connecting you to resources that are already there. Because what we didn't want to do was, not only do we have some fantastic resources in the community, we have some fantastic resources in the schools already. Like I mentioned, the high school has the Nest. They have a prom closet, which I think, as a pageant mom, is just one of the coolest things. And they create this really special shopping experience for the kids. And so we don't want to take away from anything that they're already doing in the schools, and we don't want to take anything away from what they're doing in the communities. We want to bridge that gap so that everybody knows where to go, but then also bring in other people who may not know how to get involved. So we actually have a whole committee that's a faith-based committee. And we're actually looking for a new chair, so if anybody wants to sign up, contact us. But what that does is that puts us in touch with several of the different churches in the community. So then, they can have ideas about things that they can do to help the students at Bryant. Or if we have specific needs, we can open those up very easily through this faith-based committee. So
that's great to hear.
Kind of lots of connecting the dots together.
Yeah, and speaking of that, and you mentioned the website, I got this from the website. So you guys emphasize that you want to meet a student's needs within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yes.
That is insane to me.
It's really cool. So on our committee is Lisa McNeely. She is the district social worker, and she also deals with, and I hope I'm getting this right, some of our homeless population and children in foster care. So she has insight into a lot of resources that we may not even know about just through her regular position. But what happens is every counselor at every school in the district has a form that they can fill out that comes directly to Bright Futures Bryant. And so when we receive that form, we have a call log, basically. It feels a little bit 1980s like, but it's really 2000s based because it's a text message log. But we have
not a rotary.
Right? Yeah, we have a call log though, and so we'll send out a text and we'll say, hey, we have this need that has come in. We do have a budget. We're very blessed to have been given some really amazing donations this year. But a lot of times we're able to meet those needs just with current resources that we have. But yeah, it's just we have a form, so it comes in, everything flows through the counselors because sometimes they're able to meet those needs at their schools as well. So they hit the counselor and then it comes up through us, and then if Lisa is able to meet it through her regular duties, then she'll do that. And then I don't want to say a last resort, but if everything else fails to meet that need, then it comes to the Bright Futures Committee to figure out a way to meet that.
Sounds like a well-oiled machine.
I mean,
like a lot of people working
we're
together.
trying. That's right. Yeah.
That's outstanding. So how, if someone in the community is watching right now and they want to get involved, how could they?
So probably the easiest thing to do would be to go onto Facebook or Instagram and check out Bryant Bright Futures. We do have some signups for volunteers who are interested in getting involved. But even if you don't want to get involved as a volunteer, if you could just follow our social media and share it, and that way other people who want to get involved might see that and it may pique some interest. I know some of our donations have come from somebody seeing a post that was shared and they were like, wait, what's Bright Futures? And then when we shared that with them, they said, oh, well, we would like to donate and get involved that way.
That's awesome.
So we'll take your time or your money.
Yeah. And is there any specific need that you have right now that you'd like to ask for?
Well, we are running what we're calling 25 for 25. So we're asking everybody to donate $25 in 2025. And so we're really just trying to build our resources up so that when those needs come up, we can meet them. We got a donation for $15,000 earlier, which feels really big, but when you think about the fact that Bryant has over 9,000 students, that goes really fast, especially right, because we're not talking about my kiddo doesn't have clean underwear to wear tomorrow, or I need $10 to wash clothes at the laundromat. Because again, a lot of those are being met at the Rotary Kids Closet. At the individual school level, we're seeing things like, I don't have a stove to cook dinner on, or I don't have a refrigerator to keep food cold. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we needed earlier this summer was there was a young man who his parents worked and he really needed to be able to go to the Bryant Youth Association. Mm-hmm. And so we were asked to, help facilitate that through sending him there. And so it's not $10 and $12 type of things. It can be expensive. And so that 25 for 25, even though your $25 may not feel like a lot, if we all throw in $25, it starts to feel really big and we can help a lot of kids.
And it's a catchy name.
I know. Yeah. I came up with that.
Oh, good job.
Dang, I should have saved that for something for us to do. But it's okay.
It's paying off.
I know.
So could you talk about the role of the advisory board and who's on it?
Yeah, so it started last year because Devin sent out an email, or I think Lisa McNeely sent it out, and somehow my name got mentioned. And I walked into the very first meeting. I said, I don't have time for this. I'm just here, as a Lisowe's Lights representative, but I don't have time to do anything with this committee. And then by the end of it, after Lisa had explained what the committee was, I was like, okay, I changed my mind. I feel like I probably need to be the one helping get it off the ground, because that's something that I've done a couple of times before with other nonprofits. So our advisory board meets once a month, and it is made up of a mix of school employees and district employees and community members. And so I think I mentioned we've got Lisa McNeely, who is the district social worker on there. We have a representative for our counselors. And so every once in a while, we'll go in and speak to the counselors and kind of let them know what's going on and how they can utilize us as a resource. I mentioned our student person and our faith-based person. We also have somebody who's in charge of community outreach. So if you have an organization and you would like us to come and talk to you about ways that your organization can help with Bright Futures, we have somebody like that on the advisory board. We have trying to think, fulfillment. So a person in charge of actually fulfilling those needs. They are actively working to put together our resource list right now. So we have about 10 members on the committee who are voting members. We also have some contributing members who come in and help with social media and graphics. Mm-hmm. And then we have somebody at the district level who comes in and tells us what we can and can't do. It's really made up of a good mix, like I said, of school and community members.
Yeah. And just as diverse as the students is what it sounds like.
Yes. Yeah. We have all different ages, and some of our members are former school employees that may have retired, but they were still looking for a way to stay involved in helping students and in student lives. And so that's been really fun to see. But yeah, definitely we have a good mix of, we do need some men though. So, we're lacking a little bit of
the dudes.
Of the dudes. So yeah, if you are a dude that wants to get involved, we would love to have you come and help us out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We can take a step back. Do you know, I Googled it and Devin told me a little bit of it. It started from the Joplin tornado. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's my understanding. Yes, a gentleman started the program because of the Joplin tornado to kind of help organize resources and again to bring the community into the school. I know that some of our neighbors have really established programs here. And then I know even like teeny tiny schools. I have a friend who is the chairman in Gravette, and they're, I mean, teeny tiny compared to Bryant. But the things that they have been able to do for their school district by bringing the community in, it's just really neat to watch.
It is. So this kind of goes with, you were talking about the students being involved. What role do you see Bright Futures playing in shaping like service-minded students?
Sure. So I don't want to reveal too much because we don't have approval yet, but we do have some programs that we would actually like to implement here in year 2 and year 3. So we're just coming up next month on the first anniversary of our first meeting. So we are still very much in our infancy.
Did not realize that.
Yes,
okay.
And I'm super proud at the things we've been able to accomplish so far. But we do have some big goals. We did meet with some of the principals and assistant principals at other schools to talk about ways that we can come into the schools and do things like that. Now these students have this requirement of having to have 75 hours to graduate of volunteer service. Mm-hmm. And so creating opportunities for students to be able to do that at the school, but also creating opportunities where people in the community come in and talk about the things that they do in the community. So maybe it's a service-based conversation, but maybe it's also a job-based conversation, to have these people come in and talk to junior high students. I know one thing that the junior high talked about is, they have these computer science classes, and the kids mm-hmm. take them, and they're kind of turned off because, ninth grade is maybe not old enough for a lot of kids to truly understand computer science.
I'm 31, and I have a hard time grasping it.
But if you can get somebody to come in and talk about one of the really cool jobs that they have involving computer science, that may engage the kids in a different way.
Bet it would.
I dabble in computer science in my real job, and one of the things that I do when I go in and talk to kids about it is I use data visualization to prove how to pick a murderer out of a room. And when you say things like that, the kids are like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
You saw my face.
Yeah, right. So we're trying to not only engage the students in this kind of service-minded attitude, but also get them interested in things that they didn't know to be interested in before. So I think those are some really cool things to look forward to.
So it helps students and also gives them opportunities.
Yes. There are ways outside of the advisory board to come in and volunteer with us. So like if once a month seems like too much, or you're like, I have time when I have time. Mm-hmm. We're always looking people, like I said, that faith-based committee, our fulfillment committee. So as those requests kind of start to come in, the people that are actually going out and shopping for those items or delivering those items and things like that. So don't think that just because you don't have a couple of hours every single month that you can't come in and help with Bright Futures. We want to be a doors wide open type of place. And then also, if you're a person that works in the community that has ideas about, ways to help students, or you have a really cool job and you want us to maybe facilitate setting some of those conversations up with students, reach out, because I think that, there's a lot of things that Bright Futures can do. It's not just necessarily about meeting emergent student needs.
And if you mentioned it's a doors wide open place, could you tell me where those doors are?
Sure. So we operate out of the Bryant Parent Center, mm-hmm. But they all have real jobs too that they do. So this is, I kind of like to, this is a very big volunteer job that all of us get to be a part of. But we do operate out of the Parent Center that's here on the Bryant campus. Mm-hmm. But again, probably one of the easiest ways to connect with us would be on Facebook or Instagram. And we have an email, and I can't remember it right now.
That's perfectly, it'll be on the screen.
Perfect.
Don't worry about it.
Even better.
Yeah. And so that's how I was going to wrap everything up, is if people wanted to reach out, the email that was on your screen, and probably right now as well, Facebook, or
Instagram
as well.
Yes, and we're trying to get a TikTok going maybe, or get some students to do some Instagram reels, because we have decided that we are not the audience that needs to be creating those to get people involved, but we know people who can. So that's right. Stay tuned for hopefully some fun stuff later this year on the Bryant Bright Futures social media pages.
So it's fair to say Bright Futures has a bright future?
It does have a very bright future.
Well, thanks for coming,
You're
Lauren.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully, if you're interested, please reach out.